Do you ever feel like you only really matter when you are being productive? It feels like your self-esteem is a roller coaster. When you get that A, when you get that promotion, or when the project succeeds, you feel on top of the world. But the moment you make a mistake, or the moment you simply take a rest, you instantly feel useless, lazy, and like a failure. If this sounds familiar, you're falling into what I call the achievement trap. You have accidentally tied your human value to what you do instead of who you are. And believe me, that is an exhausting way to live. In today's video, we're going to dismantle this burden together. I'm not telling you to stop striving or stop succeeding, but I will show you how to pursue your goals from a completely different place, a place of freedom instead of fear. We are going to walk through 11 deep mindset shifts so you can get out of bed every morning knowing you are enough, regardless of how much or how little you do today. If you are ready to reclaim your peace of mind, let's start right now.
Secret number 1, clearly distinguish between human being and human doing. Let's rewind a bit. Most of us grew up in an environment where love often came with conditions. When you were good, you were loved. When you got straight A's, you were praised. Gradually, our young brains programmed a dangerous formula. My worth equals my achievements. We forget that we are human beings, humans with emotions, qualities, and independent existence. Instead, we turn into human doings, machines valued based on productivity. You believe that if you stop working, stop hitting new milestones, you will become invisible, or worse, worthless. But the truth is, achievements are just the fruit, while self-worth is the roots. Fruits can be blown away by storms. You might lose your job, a project might fail, but the roots remain. Your kindness, your sense of humor, the way you listen to others, your resilience. Those are what make you, not the title on your business card. To separate these two, you need to recognize your intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is something you were born with. No one can add to it, and no one can take it away. It's like the blue sky. Dark clouds or white clouds may pass by, but the sky remains there, unchanging. Actionable tip. Take out a pen and paper. I want you to write down 10 things, starting with I am. But you must absolutely not mention your profession or assets. Don't write, I am a doctor or I am a business owner. Write instead, I am a caring person. I am a nature lover. I am a loyal friend. This is the first step to reprogramming your brain, reminding it of the real person behind the flashy titles.
Secret number 2, stop taking failure personally. Treat it simply as feedback data. The biggest problem for people who tie their self-worth to achievement is this. When you fail at something, you don't think, I did this the wrong way. Instead, you think, I am a failure. Do you see the difference? One is an action, I messed up. The other is an identity, I am messed up. Shame washes over you, and it paralyzes you. To escape this, adopt the mindset of a scientist. When an experiment blows up, the scientist doesn't go home crying, thinking they're a terrible person. They simply note down, data shows this method doesn't work. Failure is just information. It tells you what doesn't work so you can find what will. Look at a baby learning to walk. When they fall, do we scold them and call them a useless baby? No! We clap, we cheer. Why don't you offer that same grace to yourself? You are learning to walk on your career path, on your life path. Falling is normal. A scraped knee does not diminish your human value. Actionable tip. The next time you fail, try the label detachment exercise. Write down the event, I failed the interview, then write down the meaning you are assigning to it, I am stupid, then cross out that meaning and replace it with an objective truth. I didn't prepare enough for the soft skills section. That is how you turn pain into strategy. Secret number 3. Stop outsourcing your self-esteem. Build an internal validation system. Have you noticed that praise from others is like sugar? It gives you an immediate rush, but it fades very quickly. And then you are hungry again, waiting for your boss to say good job, waiting for likes on social media. You are trying to fill a bottomless cup. When you let your worth depend on external validation, you are handing the keys to your happiness to strangers. If they are happy, you feel valuable. If they are silent, you feel meaningless. That is an incredibly risky and vulnerable position. It is time to take those keys back. The truth is, the only person who needs to validate your effort is you. You are the only one who knows how late you stayed up, how you pushed through your fear. Don't wait for someone to pat you on the back. Pat your own back. Become your own biggest fan. Actionable tip. Every night before bed, instead of listing what you didn't do, write down 3 things you acknowledge about yourself today. They don't have to be big achievements. It could be, I stayed calm in traffic today, or I dared to speak up in the meeting. Train your brain to seek the good from within instead of hunting for it from without. Secret number 4. Escape the comparison trap. You are watching someone else's movie and thinking it's a documentary. We are living in the era of digital envy. You open your phone and see friends buying houses, traveling to Europe, launching successful startups. Immediately, a voice in your head says, "You are so slow. Everyone is settled, and you are still struggling." But you forget one basic thing. Social media is a highlight reel, the edited, best moments. And your life? You are seeing all of your own messy bloopers and behind-the-scenes chaos. Comparing your messy behind-the-scenes to someone else's flashy highlight reel is a perfect recipe for depression. Remember, life is not a linear race. Everyone has their own time zone. Chrysanthemums bloom in autumn. Sunflowers bloom in summer. The chrysanthemum doesn't look at the sunflower and ask, "Why haven't I bloomed yet? Am I broken?" No, it patiently waits for its own season. Actionable tip. Do a feed curation today. Scroll through your following list. Any account that makes you feel inadequate, lacking, or anxious after viewing, ruthlessly unfollow or mute them. Protecting your energy is more important than keeping up with others' news. Turn your social media into a place of inspiration, not mental torture. Secret number 5. Stop treating rest as a reward for finishing work. Treat it as fuel to start. There is a common illness I call productivity guilt. It is that gnawing guilt in your gut whenever you are doing nothing. You tell yourself, "I haven't finished my work. I don't deserve to rest." But listen to me. Your to-do list will never end. If you wait until work is done to rest, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. Look at your phone. When the battery hits 1%, do you scold it and call it lazy? No, you rush to find a charger. You understand it needs power to function. Why do you treat your body and mind worse than a phone? Rest is not laziness. Rest is maintenance. No race car runs forever without a pit stop. When you detach your self-worth from achievements, you realize lying down listening to music, taking an aimless walk, or sleeping in on Sunday is just as important as meeting deadlines, because it is in those quiet moments that creativity and energy are reborn.
Actionable tip? Schedule do-nothing time. Seriously, block out 30 minutes a day or half a day on the weekend in your calendar and treat it as importantly as a meeting with your boss. During that time, your only job is to exist. No learning, no self-improvement, simply breathing and being.
Secret number 6. Escape the arrival fallacy. Fall in love with the journey. Many of us live with the mindset, I will be happy when I buy a house, when I get promoted, when my YouTube channel hits 100K subs. This is called the arrival fallacy. But the brutal truth is, the high of achieving a goal lasts a very short time. It's like a blink of an eye. If you hate the 99% of the time spent striving and only wait for the 1% of glory, you are wasting your life. People with solid self-worth do not bet their happiness on the final outcome. They find joy right in the moment. Their hands are dirty with mud, right during those sleepless nights of writing. When you detach your worth from the outcome, you dare to try new things without fear. You do it because you want to, not because you need it to prove you are competent. Actionable tip? Find yourself a non-goal hobby. Do something that you are terrible at, but really enjoy. Doodle poorly, sing karaoke, off-key, knit crookedly. The goal is no money making, no social media posting, no need for improvement, simply play. This will teach your brain, I can enjoy doing something without needing to be excellent at it. Secret number 7. Take off the mask of perfection. Embrace the philosophy of good enough. Many people think perfectionism is about high standards. It's not. Perfectionism is actually fear. It is a heavy shield you wear, hoping, if I do everything perfectly, I won't be criticized, I won't be hurt. But that shield also prevents you from connecting with others. People admire perfection, but they only love authenticity. And authenticity always comes with scratches and flaws. When you tie your worth to never making a mistake, you become a prisoner of yourself. You fear starting new projects, fear voicing opinions, fear being judged. It is time to replace the word perfect with the most liberating phrase in the world, good enough. Good enough doesn't mean sloppy. It means knowing when to stop, knowing how to be satisfied, and knowing how to forgive your own imperfections. Actionable tip. Apply the 80% rule. In every task, unless you're a heart surgeon, aim to complete it to 80% of your ability and allow yourself to stop. The final 20% of effort to reach perfection is usually the most costly and stressful, yet brings the least value. Have the courage to hit send when the report is only at 80%. Post that video when it's not quite polished yet. You will see the world doesn't end and you are still loved. Secret number 8. Never put all your self-worth eggs in one basket. Imagine your self-esteem is a stool. If that stool has only one leg called work, what happens when work gets rocky? The stool collapses immediately. You enter a state of emotional bankruptcy. Many young people fall into depression because they let work occupy 90% of their identity. When they lose their job, they feel they have lost everything because they don't know who they are outside of that title. The solution here is identity diversification. You need to build multiple pillars for your life. You are not just a marketing executive. You are also a thoughtful brother, an amateur runner, a cat lover, a volunteer. When you have multiple identities,
A failure at work is just a scratch on one slice of the pie chart. The other slices, family, hobbies, health, are still holding you up. You remain standing. Actionable tip: implement the 10% investment strategy. Starting this week, allocate 10% of your time and energy to nurture an aspect of your life that is completely unrelated to work or study. Join a book club, learn to cook, or simply spend Saturday afternoon playing sports. Make your life more complex in a positive way. That is the best safety net for your psychology.
Secret number 9, flip the script in your head. Instead of asking, "What do they think of me?" ask, "How can I help them?" Most stress and achievement pressure come from your ego being too loud. You worry about your image, your reputation. You walk into a meeting or presentation thinking, "I have to prove I'm smart. I have to make them admire me." That is a huge burden, because then every pair of eyes feels like an arrow pointed at you. Try shifting to a service mindset. When you work, don't think you are performing, think you are giving a gift. When you write a report, you are helping your boss save time. When you make a video, you are helping viewers be entertained or learn. When you focus on helping others, the fear about yourself vanishes. You are no longer afraid of judgment because you are too busy being loving and contributing. Actionable tip: before any high-pressure task, interview, exam, presentation, take 1 minute for a mantra. Ask yourself, what value will my action bring to the person across from me? Visualize their smile or their relief when receiving that value. This shifts your energy from anxious to generous. And believe me, people are always more attracted to generosity than perfection.
Secret number 10. Cure the moving goalpost syndrome. Learn to celebrate the tiny steps. Do you recognize this script? You think, once I get into university, I'll be happy. You get in and immediately think, I need a job to be happy. Got the job? Now I need to be a manager to be happy. You constantly move the goalposts further away the moment you touch the ball. You never allow yourself to enjoy the win. You are starving your soul, forcing it to run a marathon forever without a single sip of water. Self-worth is not built from massive events, but it is accumulated from daily micro-wins. Did you wake up 15 minutes earlier today? That is a win. Did you choose vegetables over fast food? That is a win. Did you dare to say no to an unreasonable request? That is a glorious win. Actionable tip: change your to-do list into a ta-da list. At the end of the day, don't just look at what is unfinished. Write down at least 3 tiny things you completed. Acknowledging these small efforts releases dopamine, helping your brain understand, I am making progress. I am capable. I am okay. And that is the foundation of sustainable confidence.
The final and most important secret: replace your inner critic with a best friend. Let's be honest. If you talked to your friends the way you talk to yourself, would you have any friends left? You often curse yourself. Why are you so stupid? You can't do anything right. That is verbal abuse. And the one receiving those words is your inner child. It is shrinking in fear, thinking the only way to be safe is to work frantically. Self-worth is not something you need to earn. It is something you need to remember. You are like a diamond. Even if you are covered in the mud of failure, laziness, or mistakes, the value of the diamond remains unchanged. Mud may hide the shine, but it cannot reduce your value. You are worthy of love, not because of what you do,
but simply because you exist. Actionable tip. Find a childhood photo of yourself and put it on your desk. Whenever you are about to scold yourself for missing a deadline, look at that photo. Look into those innocent eyes and ask, would I say these harsh words to this child? The answer is certainly no. Give yourself the gentleness that child deserves, because you are that child.
We have traveled a long journey to untie the psychological knots that have bound you for so long. Remember, you are a human being, not a human doing. Failure is just data, not a death sentence. And most importantly, you are worthy of love even when you rest, even when you make mistakes, and even when you haven't achieved anything massive yet. Detaching self-worth from achievement doesn't mean you become lazy. On the contrary, it liberates you from paralyzing fear. When you are no longer afraid of falling, you dare to run faster. When you are no longer afraid of judgment, you dare to create more wildly. Inner peace is actually the most solid launch pad for all external success. If this video touched you or helped you feel even a little bit lighter, please consider hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell. It is the simplest way for us to stay connected and heal together every week. I have a small exercise for you in the comments. Don't be shy. Write down an affirmation starting with I am, describing a good quality of yours that is not related to work. For example, I am a good listener, or I am an animal lover. Leave a comment below. I will read and heart each one of you. Thank you for spending your precious time here with me. Remember, you are enough, right here, right now. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.